Hello friends, what's going on? And welcome back to Football Therapy with me, your host, Jan. I do hope you're doing well as always, mate. Really do hope that. Welcome back. Welcome back to Chelsea news. You can feel it. I can feel it going in the air. Yeah. Silly season is upon us. Some truths, a lot of rumours and silliness in terms of transfer stories. In today's video, we're going to reflect on some of that. Footy Insider exclusive, talking about Georgi Petrovic, desired by many clubs. Doesn't surprise me at all. One to make you shiver with fear, caught offside, apparently again an exclusive. Here it is. Mikel Arteta, Arsenal on alert as unsettled Chelsea star could be made available for 45 million. Spoiler, this is Andre Santos. I think this is almost certainly nonsense in terms of the briefings from the club. Although I do have that inherent fear with this lot that if people wave a lot of money under their noses in terms of making a huge profit on a player like Santos, they could be convinced. Also, a translated article, it's important that I assert this is a translated article from AS. Of course, Spanish media footballing publication talking about Dean Huijsen. So, he's Spanish. His representation's probably Spanish people. There's links there. We know he's got a huge interest in Real Madrid. But let's talk about, of course, him coming to Chelsea. Lots to get into, as per always, here on Football Therapy. So thank you so much for joining me. As always, thank you for supporting the content. Super simple. You just drop a like on the video, mate. How often do you like the video? Question. I mean, really? Why do you like the video? And if you want to, really do some sweet, loving support, I'm just gonna... Oh, that's nice. I'm just trying to... Okay. Yeah, I think that's good focus. Look at my big square head. It's a shame it doesn't stay like this. This would be a funny way of filming content. Yeah, let's get into it. All right, where to start? Let's start off with Andre Santos. We can do the Georgi Petrovic stuff afterwards. First of all, his EAFC, for those who are interested, he's in team of the season. This is his card. As you can see, for those of you who are inclined to have any interest in this, it's an incredible card. It's 92 rated, amazing passes, amazing defense, physical, dribbling, everything actually, pace. He's an amazing footballer. Now, you don't need an EAFC Team of the Season card to validate that, but the 20-year-old is a ruddy superstar. We bought him for if memory serves, it's like £18 million, 1/8, under 20. Many Chelsea fans, understandably, raised eyebrows at the time. It's the running, boring theme of Chelsea signing teenagers from South America. But, some of them, you're going to get some hits eventually. And if the scouting is good, which, by the way, in terms of giving some flowers to this Chelsea setup, I think there are good scouts. They are finding some gems. Santos, certainly one of them. So this is an article coming from the Give Me Sport. They're calling it an exclusive. But what does that even mean these days? By Mark Bruss, or Brew. He's wrote this. Arsenal are understood to be one of the clubs on alert for a surprise potential transfer raid on rivals Chelsea. This summer, sources have disclosed to Court Offside that Arsenal are interested in Andre Santos after his impressive loan at Strasbourg this season. I mean, that wouldn't surprise me. I think everyone is interested in Santos. The talented young Brazilian midfielder hasn't had much of a chance at Chelsea yet, but has long looked like an outstanding prospect for the future. Yeah. And I'm going to give you my thoughts on this in a moment. We're starting to see the best of Santos now as he shines in Ligue 1, but sources have informed Court Offside that he's not entirely committed to going back to Chelsea next season. Well, that strikes the fear into all our fragile little hearts. This means Santos could be available, and now where are they getting this from? For a fee in the region of 45 to 50 million euros in the summer. Of course, that's more than doubling Chelsea's money on him, which they will see like great profit. With Arsenal exploring the situation, and other top clubs are also showing an interest. Yeah, firstly, okay. Yeah, of course other clubs are showing interest. He's been amazing. He always been, it'd been amazing for, he was captain of the Brazil U20 side to an international competition championship. I'm assuming he's had the first team call up. I mean, Esteval Willian, who, by the way, happy birthday. Esteval Willian today turns 18, so he's old enough to join Chelsea. He won't until after the Club World Cup, though. More on the Club World Cup later when we talk about Dean Huijsen. Yeah, so look, back to Santos. He's got admirers, suitors all over the ruddy gaff, yeah? So Court of Side understands, but all these teams are interested in Santos. Tottenham, Arsenal, obviously, Newcastle, PSG, and Milan. Milan, obviously love a Chelsea player. PSG, like a South American, keeping an eye on Santos, all these guys. Santos could be ideal to give Arsenal something a bit different. They have missed a little bit of that sort of certain drive. I know, of course, Ødegaard's been off the boil a little bit. Both Thomas Partey and Jorginho are out of contract in the summer. Lest we forget, Santos is like a defensively minded midfielder that's just amazing at passing and scoring goals. He's everything. Still, one imagines Chelsea won't be too keen on selling to a rival, which might give them the advantage to clubs like PSG and Milan. Firstly, Chelsea will sell to rivals. They sell Mason Mount to United. They sell Kai Havertz to Arsenal. They sell Kovacic to City. I know, granted, that was just originally getting the names out, but then again, we didn't necessarily sell a couple of players to Villa. Was it Chukwuemeka or something? We'd charge them a lot more because we saw them as a Champions League rival. So maybe they are thinking of that. But right, let's just talk about this. I have to believe it's absolute nonsense. First of all, Andre Santos, after this incredible season, in a year's time, could be an £100 million midfielder. No cap. Serious. I know he's only 20, but he's an amazing footballer. He's captaining Strasbourg as a 20-year-old loanee from Chelsea, and he's a superstar. He's an absolute. I just showed you his card. Like it's reflected. He's got the streets basically. So 45 million euros. What's that? 39 million quid. If we did that and sold him to Arsenal, I would. I'm pretty philosophical. I'm pretty methodical the way I speak. I like to be calm. I like to be calculated. You will see me lose my mind. It won't happen. Sure. I mean, if he goes anywhere, Chelsea fans will be fuming. If he goes to Arsenal, my word. My word. All right, mate. Let's talk about and more rival clubs looking at our Strasbourg loanees. And this is from Give Me Sport. That was from Give Me Sport. This is from Footy Insider. Again, being presented as an exclusive, Aston Villa, I move for Chelsea star Georgi Petrovic. Now, if you know me, if you watch my content, which the majority of you watching this probably already do, you will know that I have harrowing fever dreams about the fact that our goalkeeper is Robert Sanchez. And I've always been very, very consistent and firm, and I think you need if you're going to be Chelsea, if you're going to be proper Chelsea left, we're going to make it back into the Chelsea that we should be, and essentially are in our core. We need a really good goalkeeper. Now, Georgi Petrovic could be good. He's certainly better than everything else that we've got on the roster, bar maybe Mike Penders, if he can reach that ceiling that everyone talks about. But, so if we have to go into next season and we threw the bag at a striker and Georgi Petrovic is in goal, I'm cool with that, because I think he's either going to become really good. I mean, he's one of the best, if not the best goalkeeper in Liga this season. Like, him and Santos are like the guys, basically. So yeah, certainly he's very, very good at like a couple of metrics. He's at the top in Liga. He's 25, and either he makes it and becomes that sort of caliber of Cech, Courtois, that 18 months that Edouard Mendy did really well, or he's just a placeholder that's obviously better than Sanchez until we can find another guy. He's one of those. So apparently, Pete O'Rourke, the transfer correspondent for Football Insider, writes, Aston Villa, Juventus and Bayer Leverkusen are eyeing moves for Chelsea goalkeeper Georgi Petrovic following his impressive loan spell at Strasbourg. Parallels from the last story. Sources have told Football Insider. Sources. Petrovic, who of course is 25 years old, has been outstanding for Strasbourg since joining on loan last summer and has played a key role in the side's surprise bid for Champions League qualification. Well, it's a surprise bid for any European qualification in terms of what people expected from Strasbourg, but they've been amazing. They've been like this, probably the story in Ligue 1. I know PSG can go unbeaten, but Strasbourg have been an amazing story. The Serbia international has kept a stunning 7 clean sheets in his last 10 games to enhance his reputation as one of the best goalkeepers in the whole of Europeans' top 5 leagues. On a recent video as well, I showed you like his SofaScore rating over the last, possibly even season, certainly a long while, and yeah, he's been incredible. He's got certainly very high ratings on there. Aston Villa could rival Juventus and Bayer Leverkusen for Petrovic. So there's a lot of teams in for Georgi Petrovic. If he comes to Chelsea, he needs to be number 1. If he leaves, he might even want. If Strasbourg get Champions League, which they still got a puncher's chance, he might even want to stay and be like, "We're wicked. This team's wicked. I'm the guy here. Let me have another year alone," and that could happen. Certainly, if he leaves that to Chelsea, he needs to be number 1. For me, if he comes to Chelsea, yeah, he needs to be number 1. If we buy a new goalkeeper, then sell him to Strasbourg or loan him again to Strasbourg or sell him not to Villa. I don't want to see him inside the league. But yeah, buy Leverkusen or Juventus. Yeah, if we make a big profit on him, buy a new wicked goalkeeper, then I'm all for it. But realistically, in terms of where we're going to allocate funds, I would give him a chance personally in the Chelsea team as a first choice and go from there. I mean, there's a world where we sell Jorgensen. Apparently, we could loan Jorgensen to Strasbourg, which probably makes sense. Sell Sanchez because he wants to be a number 1 somewhere. Loan Jorgensen to Strasbourg, who could be good for him. And then we could have Petrovic as number 1 and Mike Penders as number 2. He's still very young, Penders, although I think Penders probably should be a first choice for a high-profile loan, and then we can see if he is the second coming of Courtois. We'll see what happens. We've probably got enough in-house to get us, to the next level, and then if there's a super, then we'll know about Penders, if he's going to be the guy, and this, that, and the other. All right, we're gonna end on Huijsen. I'm just gonna pull up this article 1 second. Right, here we go. So that's Ronald Koeman. Ignore him. That's a different story. Huijsen Chelsea, a successful clause against Madrid's interest. Again, disclaimer: this is a translated article, so it might sound like broken English. This is Google having a crack at turning it from Spanish to English. Goes like this. Dean Housen's future could lie in London. The 20-year-old Bournemouth Spanish centre-back is Chelsea's top target, with the club willing to pay the £50 million buyout clause that would see the player leave the Vitality Stadium. Good English so far. This clause is set to kick in the coming summer of 2025, so in the coming weeks. While the Blues' interest is not new for this player, the idea is that he could play in the Club World Cup. Of course, there's a special transfer window that's scheduled for June the 16th because of the Club World Cup team, so you can get deals done because you won't have time to because you'll be out gallivanting in this competition. Chelsea's strong interest in signing Huijsen, as reported by Britain's Independent, which I think is probably why I reacted to yesterday, and confirmed by AS. I think that's how you say. I think you literally say AS, not AS. AS. Is also most highly valued by the player himself. Yeah. So like this, by the way, this has been like validated by loads of different publications. It's not just the Independent. It's like, oh yeah, this is the situation. He's like a massive target for Chelsea, and it's real, basically. Days ago, The Athletic reported that in addition to Chelsea, other Premier League teams like Liverpool, Arsenal, Newcastle and Tottenham had the Cherries player on their targets. However, the London club would have no qualms about playing the release clause, and that lightens the deal considerably. So Chelsea have money to spend. Whether it's the hotels being sold, the women's team, the fact how they're going into the Club World Cup, which is a guaranteed some P's. They're like, yeah, he's worth that. We'll pay the clause. Come to Chelsea, mate. Come and join the kindergarten fun. Huijsen is also motivated by staying in the Premier League, a championship where he's fitted perfectly as one of the best defenders for Andoni Iraola's Bournemouth. This season he has made 27 league appearances, 22 starts, scored a couple of goals, and this has earned him his full international cap for Spain, of course. In fact, his impact for Luis de la Fuente's national team was spectacular in both matches against his native Netherlands in the quarterfinals. So yeah, he's got the streets in Spain now because they've seen him in a Spanish Spain international team shirt. So Madrid, one of the teams on alert for possible Chelsea Huijsen deal is Real Madrid. The club likes the player, and although making such a large financial effort for the young centre-back who's only just turned 20 raises some concerns, of course, because they've got young Asensio as well, that new centre-back, his emergence into the first team. Huijsen himself is a self-confessed admirer of Sergio Ramos, a Real Madrid legend. What is certain is the sentiment that both Huijsen's father and the player himself have always professed for Madrid since his time living in Malaga, but the now Bournemouth centre-back who's arrived in the south of England for just 15 million euros, wow, that's what's it, 12 million pounds, so they're going to get 4 times the amount since buying him last summer, Bournemouth will. He was on the verge of joining the Whites years ago, but the old lady got there first. Despite that, the best option for his career right now may be Chelsea, which is why the possible buyout clause looms large for both parties. Yeah, he knows he's playing well in the Premier League, and it's the best league in the world. I think nothing's changed in terms of if Real Madrid are available, he'll be like, oh yeah, yes please. You know, I'm a Spanish international. It's the biggest club in the world. Get me to Real Madrid. But I think it's a good chance we sign him. 7 + 1 year deal. Chelsea probably will also think we could sell him in a couple of years. We just got to learn that that's what Chelsea do. They'll sell them. They'll want to maintain a good and winning team. Touch wood. That's the plan. But yeah, I don't know if anyone's totally safe. That's what kind of makes me terrified about the whole Santos story. But I'm not sure I believe it. Do you believe it? Let me know in the comment section below. Certainly not for 45 million euros. Yucky. Please do leave your comments down in the comment section. Thank you so much for joining me here today on Football Therapy. Yeah, thanks for liking. Thanks for subscribing. Take care of yourselves. Enjoy the football. Peace.